Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me again. I'm hoping this might be the third time that you've joined me over the last 4 days. Um, I'm talking today about the rules of suggestion. So if you join the other two sessions, I've talked about changing habits, about how to make habit change, and I've talked about the rules of the mind as as a sort of a series of processes of mechanisms that you need to keep in the back of your mind in order to engage with your change processes. Yeah. So if you want to make change in your life, if you're dissatisfied with some aspect of your life and you're wanting to go for your goal, and for whatever reason stuff isn't working, then what we've talked about so far is how to become aware of the mechanism for changing habits which are less helpful into habits which are fantastically helpful, and how to get your mind on your side and how to understand the impacts of your thoughts upon your feelings, upon your actions, upon your expectations, and therefore upon your ability, your choices to take actions that then lead you towards feedback, that lead you to course correct, that lead you towards the goal of whatever it may be, sucking the joy and the juice and the marrow out of life. So today, for the third, well, I had a break yesterday, but for the third time, um, we're going to talk about the rules of suggestion. Now, these rules of suggestion work upon yourself and upon other people, but I'm going to talk about it tonight as a way of creating auto-suggestions, self-suggestions, mantras, you might want to call them. You know, if you're one of these people that writes something that you really, really want to believe, and you put it on a post-it note and you stick it on the bathroom mirror, then this is for you. So it's how to build a series of suggestions which are acting in your interest and that which you will find, believable, congruent, acceptable, workable, beneficial, that you will embed, embrace, and and build into every cell in your body, sort of thing. How do you do that? So I'm going to assume, if you watch the other two, that you have a certain goal in mind, or a series of goals in your mind. You have a series of hurdles which are stopping you from getting there. And so the reason that we're talking about the rules of self-suggestion is to kind of dissolve those objections and create a more powerful belief, a more powerful imagination, which will dictate the actions that you take. Yeah. So I talked before, a couple of days ago, about the rules of the mind, and one of them was imagination always tends to trump knowledge and willpower. So if you can create a vivid, imaginary, emotive thought process through the rules of self-suggestion, well, then suddenly you are hurdling that potential constraint, let's say, and instead getting it onto your side. Okay, so there's I don't know, 6, 7 things to bear in mind when it comes to making suggestions to yourself, or indeed for suggestions to other people. Number one, so basically your suggestions that you speak to yourself, they need to be spoken to you as if they are occurring now. This is not something that is going to occur in the future, or this is not something which is a judgment on the past. This is right now, I am already doing XYZ. Okay, so therefore you will use the present tense. You'll only use the present tense for your suggestions. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. It's Coué's suggestion. But in actual fact, there's a sort of an angle there towards the future. So I am fit and well. I am capable. I am knowledgeable. I am using the tools that I have at my disposal for my best endeavors. You know, I am quietly confident. I am peaceful and serene. You know, I'm grateful for the things that I experience. I thank the universe for the experiences that I've been lucky enough to be a part of. All of these things. Yeah, use the present tense. Always use the present tense. Number 2, be positive. You want to have suggestions that you would lean towards, that are sending you towards your goal, not that you would potentially want less of. Yeah. So you want suggestions that are workable, suggestions that suggest an action or a thought or a feeling, not a dead man's suggestion. Okay. So if your suggestion would be more easily achieved by someone who was no longer with us, well, then that's not a great suggestion. Okay. You want a suggestion which involves participation, that is very much a strong, positive goal. Number 3, that goal, that suggestion, that idea, that thought needs to be specific, it needs to be precise, and it needs to be focused. It needs to be easily understood. Yeah, it needs to be crystal clear in your mind. The suggestion is not something vague, it's something that you can speak about with a sense of certainty. Yeah, you can hang your hat on it. And similarly then, number 4 is that suggestion should be detailed. It should not be general. You should be able to paint a picture in your mind with your suggestion. Yeah. There shouldn't be any ability to opt out, I guess, is what I'm saying. You want everything that is within the suggestion to be actionable, to be specific, to be real. Yeah. Next kind of rule for suggestion is you want to excite your imagination with this suggestion. It needs to be something which kind of makes you tingle when you read it. Yeah. You resonate with it, because when you resonate with a thought, I mean, your mind is already an amazing goal-oriented machine, but when you attach an emotional significance to it, it's like gearing that process. So excite the imagination. Think of the person who is most dear to you in the entire world. Yeah. If there's more than one person, think of more than one person, but really, really enjoy it. See their face, see them smiling. Yeah. Look in their eyes, see them smiling, hear their voice, hear their laughter. And as you're feeling that feeling, think of this suggestion. Yeah. Really, really excite your imagination. Go with it. What would it mean to them? Feel the love that you have for that individual, or maybe feel their love for you. And then, once you're in that state, consider the suggestion. Next rule, keep it simple. Your conscious mind apparently can hold between sort of 5 and 9 things at any one moment. But when we're doing this, we're talking with the back of your mind. So we're kind of asking the front of your mind to just kind of let it be. Yeah. Not to go away, but to just permit it to exist, which means to a certain extent a sort of element of tunnel vision. So keep it simple. Keep it something that you can really focus your attention on very, very easily. So it's simple, it's direct, it's detailed, it's specific, it's precise, it's focused, and because all of your energy is on that one thing and it's simple. Imagine that it's like you're talking with a 7-year-old. Yeah. Very easy to keep in mind. Next thing that your suggestions need to be talking about doings and actions, not about thoughts. Okay, this is about taking you towards your goal through actionable steps. I said on one of the previous videos, what is the smallest, but the next actionable step that you can take towards your goal? So in your suggestions, talk about tangible actions, tangible doings that lead you to where it is that you're wanting to go. Okay. Another one, be accurate, be measurable. You've probably heard about SMART goals. So it needs to be specific and it needs to be measurable. Own it is what I'm saying, yeah? Don't delude yourself. If this is something that you want, if this is a suggestion that you're going to tell yourself over and over again, well then it has to pass through your kind of, what do you want to call it? Your bullshit meter? It's you're talking to yourself. It has to be convincing. So therefore it needs to be accurate. It needs to be measurable. It needs to be testable. Yeah, it needs to be owned. Next rule, be fair on yourself. Be realistic. You don't want your suggestion to be so absurd that you simply don't know what to do with it. Yeah, it has to be something which you know in your heart of hearts is achievable. Yeah. And then finally, I think maybe the most important one of all is personalize your suggestions. Don't find your suggestions in a book. Yeah. You want to understand what it is that you want. What would be the state of mind that you would need to be in order to go for that? What would be the series of beliefs that you would need to hold to underpin it so that you would take the actions? Yeah. What would be the things, the actual physical steps that you would need to take to achieve the goal? And what would be the mindset that was required around that? Make them very, very personal to you. Because again, then you resonate with it. It fits all of these steps. In a way, they're all the same step, yeah, because they're very cohesive. It's like wrapping a series of rubber bands all around each other, and they all kind of resonate with each other. So you find yourself with something which is it fits like a glove, I guess is what I'm saying. It feels realistic to you. It feels personal to you. It feels achievable to you. It feels specific. It feels easily understood. Yeah. It engages your emotions. Yeah. It's it's like your perfect mentor would have told you. Yeah. It's just got enough sweetness and spice in it to resonate with you. That can't come from a book. That has to come from the heart. Once you've got all of that, once it resonates with you, then repeat it. Yeah, repeat it to yourself on a regular basis. And when you do so, notice your feelings. Yeah. So you've got this suggestion. Can you believe it in your heart of hearts? Is there a little voice inside of you somewhere that is going, yes, but? Or is there a part of your body which feels a little bit unusual when you say that? If so, delve into it. Ask what's going on with that. You can have a conversation with that part in your body if it makes sense. Keep going with the suggestions over and over again and use that, incorporate that as a way to exaggerate the emotional feeling for shifting the habits that we talked about on day one. I think that's all I need to say about suggestions. Always use the present tense. This is already occurring. It's already ongoing in your life. This is as natural as anything else which is currently going on in your life. Yeah. I hope that's of interest. With the incorporation of those three things, I hope you feel sufficiently engaged and empowered and knowledgeable to be able to start making the bite-sized chunks that can create the actions, create the ripple effect, create the feedback to teach yourself whether you're on or off track, to course correct, to continue to pursue your goals so that 2025 is a fantastic year. Okay. On that basis, I wish you a fantastic 2025. I wish you a fantastic future. If you have any comments, if any of that didn't make sense, please write them down below, or afterwards, if you wish, you can send me an email, or you can plunk them underneath the video, or you can even, if you wish, you can even contact me and set up a session just to have a free chat, because it's always a pleasure. I love to actually meet people in person that have come across me from these videos. It's absolutely wild when that happens, especially when they're in far-flung parts of the world. So thank you for your attention. I hope these 3 sessions have been useful. It's kind of a different process actually when I do it live. I have to kind of think on my feet in a different way. But that's kind of what you do in hypnosis, in actual fact. My job in hypnosis is to deal with what emerges. And so you can't follow a script. You can't plan a session and hold your grip around that plan very, very tightly, because people are going to do things, they're going to say things, they're going to think things which you couldn't possibly have guessed. So that's why I kind of thought I would do a few live sessions just to kind of conjure with that system. All right, thank you very much for watching. Take care. Have a great evening if you are in the European time zone. If you're out in North America, have a fantastic afternoon and evening. And if you're in Asia, then wow, what are you watching in the middle of the night? All right, take care. And until my next session, or until you send me a message, I'll be thrilled to hear from you. All right, cheers.